first down to Atlanta and then up to St. Louis. And we met them at St. Louis, and the Honor Guard then loaded him into the hearse. Can't remember the name of the veterans group that does the support. Veteran Guard group, you can see the motorcycles. Missouri does it right. I mean, they really have a really good support group for veterans coming home. You can see that they lined up and met us there. The city of St. Louis had huge big fire trucks out with a big flag down through. When we drove through, we had a motorcade that was accompanied by at least 15 different police groups going through the city of St. Louis and then heading on down to Seymour, which is about 3 hours away. You can see the motorcade, you can see the main thing there on the side there with the little cities and so forth that we went through. All along the route for 3 hours, every overpass you went over, there's somebody asleep. Along the side of the road, anytime the motorcade came close, people would pull over and let us go by. It was unbelievable the support that the state of Missouri did. It was just unbelievable. Flags were at half-mast, that's why it's at the top. You can see the people are lined up on all of the bridges and so forth as we came through. I won't go through these, but here's a list, of course, of Uncle Donnie's awards that he had. And I'll also mention that Governor Nixon was lowered the flag statewide on the 19th of November, and then in Webster County is held county for a couple of additional 5 days. As well as Vicki Hartzell, which was the congresswoman from Seymour in that area, did the congressional record reading him in. And then the Patriot Riders, I couldn't think of their name, but the ones that accompanied us all the way through and presented awards. The town of Seymour lost 3 people in the Korean War out of 1,000 or so people who lived there. They really put on a big show for, of course, him coming home. The local mortuary got a horse-drawn caisson to bring him to his final resting place. Picture on the top right there is Sergeant Beale with Uncle Leonard, Donnie's younger brother. How they brought the remains, of course, was in a casket. The actual remains are below the actual uniform that was put there in the center of the casket. The memorial was held again at the cemetery and was presided over by the minister, and then a lot of different people came over and presented Uncle Leonard with different awards. And Ruth, of course, in '99 was unable to make it to the actual burial.
Thank you. A Korean War soldier is finally laid to rest in his hometown 66 years after he went missing in action. KY3 Drew Douglas tells us the story of the 3 burials of Cpl Donald Matney.
Cpl Matney was buried 3 times. In 1949, he left his hometown of Seymour to join the Army.
It's up as high as it'll go. Yeah.
His parents and 8 siblings. A year later, he went missing in action during the Korean War. For 66 years, his family wondered about his fate. Only now do we know the rest of this story. A Korean farmer was the first to find and bury Matney along with others from his company. Later, the Army found his grave, but not his dog tags. He was unidentifiable, so he was moved to a national memorial cemetery in Hawaii, buried the second time as unknown soldier X-739. His niece persisted in tracking down her uncle's remains. She found evidence that led her to unknown soldier X-739. Finally, military disturbed the grave and chest x-rays confirmed it was Cpl Donald Matney. On Friday, a soldier escorted his remains on a flight from Hawaii to St. Louis, then on the road all the way to Seymour, where Matney's only surviving brother and a grateful community were waiting.
It's wonderful to know that so many care.
Very touching that all of these people came out here to pay their respects to somebody who had fought for our freedoms that we enjoy today.
This is his 3rd and final burial next to his parents. His headstone was placed here as a memorial over 20 years ago. The family never could have imagined this day.
But he's home now. And it's wonderful for all of us.
They presented me with the flag and I just thought all those years that I didn't get to know my brother, and he's leaving this world with such a legacy to leave behind.
If you have loved ones missing, don't give up. It took continue to search for them because it can happen, just like it happened for us.
In Seymour, Missouri, Drew Douglas, KY3 News.
What an incredible story. By the way, Cpl Matney also has a 99-year-old sister in a nursing home in Seymour. She was too sick to go to the funeral, but she cried when she learned he'd come. Now,
Remember, at the beginning, I said that Uncle Donnie joined the Army with another guy by the name of Chuck Farr, and was driven there by Joe Peters. Well, Chuck Farr also was killed 4 days after Uncle Donnie. He was shot, was on a reconnaissance crewman, first one to die from this group. And he was buried there in Marshfield, about 20 miles away. And Joe Peters, the guy that drove him, he was 16 years old and couldn't join the Army at that time. Well, he actually died 2 days before Uncle Donnie was reburied. He was actually buried the same day as Uncle Donnie in the same funeral, at the same funeral home and in the same cemetery. So that's the story of the recovery of Uncle Donnie. Hopefully it'll give you a little bit of an insight on it. It's quite an interesting story that goes around, comes back around, and its conclusion is just don't give up if you've got folks that are missing. There's a chance that you can still go out and do things to go find them.
Anybody have any questions for Tom?
Yes?
Were those dog tags on his coffin actually his?
No, the Army provided them,
Reissued?
but they're reissued, yeah. The Army provided dog tags on the outside as well as inside the casket. That's just part of what they do.
Any other questions?
You did put a tremendous amount of effort, you and your wife and yourself, doing this. A lot of time and money.
Yeah, it was 10 years. It
Yeah.
was 10 years. 10 years, yes.
Did they thought of why his dog tags were not what he's like? Did they pulling him off?
If you notice that the body was mutilated, I'll just say that.
Yeah,
Who was mutilated?
'cause there were no hands,
Like,
there were no hands and, no.
And I won't say that if my wife's here.
So obviously they were transferred out before he died, you think?
Yeah, most likely, when they look, we got a fairly large book from them that goes through in detail, and it has a forensic answer. And he was shot wounded and then shot in the head. So more than likely that while he was wounded, he couldn't go anywhere, and he held him up and then shot him in the head and then yes. I mean, very, very brutal. I mean, especially that beginning. At the beginning, they were just extremely brutal. Yes.
Just a statement, which a lot of people probably don't realize, that was the Second Korean War. The First Korean War was in 1871, when a Marine and Navy expedition attacked Korean forts where pirates were preying on shipping. And probably later this year, we'll have at least a short presentation about the First Korean War.
June 10th, actually.
I was there, yes.
I will also mention that you can go back to Korea if you want to go back. Every year they do take a group back. And my wife and I were selected because of what happened here with Uncle Donnie. And we were supposed to go back at the 21st of May. So if you wanted to go back to Korea.
I've been back twice.
You've been back twice? Okay. So they do, they'll pay some of the primary back. Pretty much all the accommodations back there and half the flight.
Hopefully we won't have to repeat.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Hopefully we'll maybe go.
It'll be worse this time,
Yeah.
if they have it.
Do you know if they still have groups going?
Yes, they do.
They still have them.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, thank you very much.
Go back again.
Hope you go back.
Do you wanna go back again?
I would have to go back.
No, that's what I said. We'll go this May.
Thank you, Tom.
Appreciate it very much.
And we have this little token for you,
Well, thank you.
and another round of applause.
Tom, I got a question.
Yeah.
What made you and Sandy
decide to have the body of the unknown,
Disinterred.
whatever here, the unknown soldier in the punch bowl?
Why did we disinter?
Now, why did you do this?
Basically because of the description that was included with the file. Very, very probable it was either him or one other person, and the likelihood of them identifying that body was very high. So that's where we petitioned to say, disinter this particular body, because you'll identify it, whether it's Uncle Donnie or whether it's the other guy.
so basically you had a 50-50 shot.
We had pretty much a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
We thought it was a pretty good chance, we said.
Yeah.
It's just that the Army didn't know what to do. I mean, when they got the request for us to disinter, there was, and I should, Zimmerly, John Zimmerly is the guy that gave us those files. He gave them to a lot of other people. We weren't the only ones that asked for people to be disinterred. There was like 6 of us that did that. Of the 6, 3 were actually ended up to be the people that, were there, and the other 3 weren't. But they did identify all 6 bodies.
Did the Army pay for all of that, the disinterment?
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah, that's that standard budget. That's why I say they run until they run out of budget.
Yep.
And then when they ran out of budget there in July, then we didn't do anything until the next year. So they do that over here. The poor sergeant that accompanied the body back had to stay awake the whole time. And he stayed awake from Honolulu into Atlanta, then Atlanta up to St. Louis, and then driving the 3 hours down to Seymour.
It's in
So he
here.
was up for 27 hours
There's a whole
straight.
thing on it.
And then they said, you're supposed to fly back that same day. He said, no. The other sergeant actually drove him over to Springfield. He flew out for Springfield the next day. He was, poor guy. But he had to go in and actually open up the casket and check out all the remains and make sure that everything was okay. And you can imagine that. They really treat, the remains and so forth with respect and all the way through. Very, very impressed with that. Anything else? Well, thank you again. Appreciate it very much.